Hey everybody, Julie Murphy here, the Money Chick, and I am here to help you either work things out so that you don't act out things through your money, through your health, or through your relationships, because this is what all human beings do. And today, what I want to go over with you is how do you put your personal strategy into the financial products that you buy out there? Because so often I find that people buy financial products and they don't have the why down as to why they've chosen what they've chosen. So, hit that notification bell and make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to continue to give you tips and tools until you get to a life that you absolutely desire and love to have. So, who's ready? Come on, let's do this. So, number one, I want you to think about not no longer being reactive in your life financially, but starting to come from a place of neutrality, a place of being the observer, or a place of empowerment versus financial scarcity. Now, what do I mean by all those things? It's about shifting your financial energy. It's about what is your why behind the financial products that you use. So, let me give you a common example that I always see. Number one, you go get a mortgage, and everyone always thinks about the fact that, oh, I'm going to get this mortgage and I'm going to get a lower interest rate. So, and my payment's going to go down and fabulous, great. So often we make these decisions from what mortgage do we get because of the fact that it decreases our cash outlay. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're missing a whole part of the equation and you're kind of defaulting into a life that you may not love. And it's super important for you not to just live life from a place of default, but actually live life from a place of desire and excitement and happiness and joy. Because I see so many people through their working years in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they get to their 60s and like, shoot, I wish I would have did it a different way. And I'm here to tell you how that out of the box different way can really make a difference. So when it comes to things like a mortgage, I want you to ask yourself one of the questions of, at what age do I no longer want to have a debt to pay? I was working with a client this week, and one of the things that came up was the fact that she really wants to stop working at a job that she doesn't love. Great. Well, guess what? How does she reduce her expenses? So people usually stay in a job longer than that job provides happiness for them because they have to keep paying for all their past financial choices. So, how do you then redesign your life to say, you know what, this job is not serving me any longer, and I'm not really happy, and I don't want to create disease in my body because I'm unhappy all the time, because that is how it works. Watch my other videos, and I'm telling you, this is how it works. Decide when I'm choosing a mortgage payment, I no longer want to have a mortgage at age 45. I no longer want a mortgage at 50 or 55 or 60, whatever that date is. Or if you're already in your 50s or your 60s and you don't want a mortgage anymore and you're kind of like, well, Jewel, thanks, but you're a little late and behind the eight ball, then you just say, okay, I have $300,000 of equity in my house. So great. Well, then sell the place that you're in and go buy a place for $300,000. Then you no longer have a mortgage payment. So these are some of the tools to where you are bringing you along the ride for the decision-making process, because you're putting your personal strategy that you have today, here and now today. Don't worry about the regrets of the past. Don't worry about all the decisions you made before, because guess what? You cannot change them. So don't try to, right? Or why spend your energy there anymore? You cannot change what you've chose before. All you can do is change what you choose today. Life is all about making the next best choice for you in this moment, in this time, with the information that you have. So a second example I want to give you about how to put your personal strategy actually into the financial products that you buy. Think of it like you have a parent that has made financial choices very differently than you have in your lifetime. So if you're like me, you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you've got aging parents. There may be things that your parents set up that are different than how you would choose to set it up. Or this could be siblings. This could be aunts, uncles. It could be grandparents. It doesn't have to be your parents. But it's about the fact that you're having this feeling and this thought process of, oh gosh, I know I may be fiscally responsible for some of those people in my world, friends or family members, that didn't necessarily do things financially the way that I did them. And I may or may not want to do that. I had a conversation this week with somebody where they were talking about the fact that their birth parent, not their parent that raised them, but the one that gave them life, um, fiscally has made different choices and throughout the years has made it's been challenging for that individual because when they've helped them out, they've spent a bunch of money. And they're like, well, I didn't really help them out and go to work and do all these things for those people to then go and piss away a bunch of money on something that it's not about putting a roof on their head. It was all about perks. And so there's this disconnect. So remember, if you're looking at family members as they age and how do you help them, because where is the pinch that most people get in retirement? It's the fact that long-term care, the government is not going to pay for us to have long-term care. And some of you who might be in social medicine systems, there's different layers, but there's also different tiers of types of care, right? Whether you're in the United States or in another country, trust me, I've coached them, I get it. But it's about the fact that you, the day you experience that loved one, that friend or that family member, that you have resolved everything inside of you, how you have shown up in that person's life, and that you have no regrets. This is again where you take you along for the ride on the personal strategy. Let me give you an example. So you may not have made the decisions. Years ago, I had this client tell me about how when he was a kid, he was on food stamps. And on those food stamps, then mom continued to create those kind of scenarios where she was in and out of doing welfare programs. And he felt that it was his job to write the check when mom needed care when she was older. And I challenged the fact that no, 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 no. You're not doom and gloom. You're not stuck in a corner. This is how we have to shift out of victim consciousness when it comes to our money. Why? Because when we operate from a victim mentality, then we feel like we're in jail. We feel like we have shackles on. We feel like that we don't have any choice. And who doesn't like to have choices? I don't know about you, but I love to see my menu of choices. So, in that kind of scenario, ask yourself your question, what's my menu and what do I operate and feel best about that the day that my parent or my friend or my other family member dies, that I'm whole and secure in here because I chose the most empowered choice on my menu of how I desire to help that person that I love and care about. Because you didn't make their financial choices all throughout their lives, and it's not your responsibility to take it on for them, despite the fact that you may want to, because that may feel the most expansive for you. But what's true for me may not be true for anybody else. So, your menu of options when it comes to an aging family member or friend that you know fiscally aren't set up properly to be able to help themselves is you can help them by giving them your time. You can help them navigate through the welfare system to get them the best benefits they possibly can. That is certainly a menu option. Another menu option is the fact of you could decide, I'm going to write a check. And the question is, so that menu gets a little deeper there. So do you just want to go, okay, well, when it happens, then I'm going to decide when it is that I want to do that. Maybe, maybe not. Or you can set up like an online savings account. I love those kind of accounts and there's lots of vendors out there that have them, but you can name your financial intention. You could call it the mom retirement fund or grandma's bucket. And when those family members need any help, then the amount of money that's in that bucket, because you put money monthly into that bucket, then your strategy in your financial world is still going to work because that's outside of that bucket that you've already decided that you want X amount of dollars to go in there on a monthly basis to plan for. You can also, another menu option for something like that is you could buy an insurance policy on that other person. Think of it just like a savings account. The conversation I had this week with somebody was, you could buy a life insurance policy on your 71-year-old dad that has a long-term care rider on it. And that may or may not be appropriate for you, but if you're putting money into something that can cover more, then guess what? If they pass away, you get the death benefit and then you got your money back that you put into this thing. Or if they needed the care, then they were able to, there was money there and a benefit that they would get care of. And if there's any money left over, you would get the balance and you'd get some of your money back. So what I'm saying here is I want you to approach your decisions with your financial products that you buy from, well, what are my choices? What are my menu options? Let me give you number 3. The age in which you retire is so important when you're starting to ask yourself questions of like, if you want to buy a new place or a second home, or if you want to purchase for the first time in your life. I've had people do that in their 50s. And you just have to decide like, what amortization schedule makes the most sense? This is also true if you have rental properties, because put intention behind why you're doing what you're doing. Often mortgage products out there are sold as 15 and 30-year products. Well, whose exact life works out in 15 or 30 years? Not too many do exactly that. So this is why I want you to look at it from the perspective of going, I'm going to get X amount of properties, and I'm going to make sure that all those amortization schedules are set up so that each one of those mortgages are paid off by the time I'm 60 years old. So then when I'm 60, except for real estate taxes having to pay and maintenance on those properties, I have no more debt on them. And so now it's just like an income flow to me so that I can live on that in retirement. Again, it's adding your personal strategy to the financial products that you buy. And I often find when people come to me, they actually have no idea why they've bought what they've bought. Life insurance is a great example of that. People have no idea why they bought the amount of life insurance that they bought. And it's because the fact that you didn't actually put intention behind, well, if I die, where does this money go? And you know what? You probably shouldn't even be asking yourself the question. It's your spouse or your loved ones that you want to make sure have some payout that, well, what do they want? Because you're dead. You're dead. So you may decide you want something, but do those people care about it? They may or they may not. But very often, like the head of the household, a lot of times that's the man in history, or the higher income earner in the household will just buy life insurance and not have any reasoning behind why they got the $1 million term insurance policy that they got, or they just maxed out the amount of insurance they could get through their employer, which is like 3 times salary or something like that. But what do you want it to pay off? Ask yourself these questions and go to juliemurphy.com. We actually have a life insurance worksheet that you could work through in these different categories, because I've seen it. I've been there. I've done that. I know where the mistakes have been made. A fifth one that people need to put more of their intention in is college planning. Like if you decided you want to plan for college for your kids, many people do not realize that today you're not getting away without signing for your kids' college funds on that loans. People are like, well, they can take out loans just like I did. Well, yeah, but did you know that you now as the parent are on the hook for that? So who wants to be 50, 55 years old and just sign off on a $250,000 or $500,000 student loans because you have 2-3 kids that went to school? Not too many people want to do that a decade out before they retire, or 15 years before they retire. That's like hitting you with a 10-foot pole, like right upside your head. And that doesn't feel good to anybody taking on that kind of debt at that age in their life. So how do you want to plan? Good, bad, or indifferent? Again, I'm going to take you back to the menu. It's all about the menu. I would love for each and every one of you to look at your financial situation, and I want you to say, okay, I need to do this. So what are my menu options? I am telling you, think out of the box. I've got lots of other videos here that can help you drive down more into each of the life stages and life events that are important to you right here and right now so that you can drill down. I also have a copy of my book here, Awaken Your Wealth. You can get that. Just click the link. You just have to pay for your own shipping. I've paid to write the book and get it production for you. So the physical book I've paid for, I just need you to pay for your shipping on that one. And I am so grateful that you guys just subscribe and like because I want you to be notified and hit that notification bell. So every time we got some tips and tools coming out, we get you to a life that you love and doing it sooner than later. Thanks, everyone.